Get started, shall we? And again, you can find this on my website, lifttoelevate.com, and you can color along. It's the Love Flows series. Love flows, because that's why we're here on this earth, is to make love flow. So I am using the mandala that I created, and I'm also using this Soucolor set of coloring pencils here. So if you want to get those, I've got these off of Amazon, and they said they're vibrant color, so I'll be using those. And I'll get started. So let's start with maybe some red. We want to talk about the different kinds of love. You know, love shows up in many forms. You have romantic love, you have familial love, you've got friendship love, you've got self-love. And all the loves are important. But I think that of them all, we have to acknowledge that self-love is the most important, because if you're a spiritual person, the order in which they tell us to live by and prioritizing is God, spouse, God, spouse, children, and then others, parents, siblings, work, friends, and that nature. And some people get confused about that, because some people think, well, where does God fit in there? And I'm going to tell you. If God is in us, then we are love. If God is in us, then that means that we also need to prioritize ourselves first. Because taking care of ourselves is honoring God. Right? We are an extension of Him. And the better that we live, the better that we treat ourselves, the more that we honor Him. So let's go down this list of love and honoring and prioritizing. Okay? So what does it look like to prioritize self? You may not believe it, or you may believe it, but that is very hard for many people to do. I want this to be a little darker. To prioritize themselves. Because we have some people who are just givers. And it feels good to give. And we see giving as godly, like Jesus gave. We're being, we're giving of ourselves and we're sacrificing. Jesus sacrificed, and so should we. But did you know that because Jesus already made that sacrifice, we don't have to? We don't have to. He already made the ultimate sacrifice. And so to love ourselves is not to put us in a position to where we feel we have to self-sacrifice at a level that burns us out. Because if you're burnt out, how are you going to do the good that is needed of you in the world? If you're burnt out, how are you going to do God's work? If you're burnt out, how are you going to continue to help and take care of the people that you sacrifice for? You might as well tell them, I'm only here with you for a minute because I'm burning myself out. So you're not going to have very long with me because my health's going to fail sooner than it should, because I'm steady sacrificing and not taking care or prioritizing myself, not showing myself self-love. And there's still some people that wear it as a badge of honor to be burned out and sacrificing to that extent. Like, I always say, like, they're addicted to it. You're addicted to being needed. You're addicted to being a martyr. And you wear it like a badge of honor. And it's not. Show me in what religious doctrine where it says that we are supposed to beat ourselves up, beat our bodies up, beat our minds up, all in the spirit of supposedly saving everybody else. I remember, I speak from experience in this, by the way. I'm not condemning or chastising anyone. I speak from experience. I'm a recovering overgiver. I'm a recovering burn myself out at both ends for the sake of being there and dependable to everybody else. But I always thought that if I could do something, then I should. If I'm able to help, then I should. If I'm able to be there, then I should. If I'm able to put myself out in this way, then I should. Because I want to be the person that everyone can depend on. I want to be the person that people look to and know, Erica supports me. And it seemed like sometimes I felt like people didn't really understand that. Until one day, my mom told me, we were coordinating going somewhere, and I was trying to make sure that she had a ride, or she was going to follow somebody or something, that she didn't have to go by herself, because we had far to go. And when I was trying to coordinate that with her, and let me just add this to it, I am one of 6 children. So there are 6 of us, not to mention grandkids, spouses, all that kind of thing. And it seemed like no one was concerned on how my mother was going to get there or who she was going to ride with, because this event was far away. It was like an hour away. And so when I was trying to coordinate, people weren't calling me back. They weren't responding. It was just brushing off. And I was like, what the heck? And so I remember telling my mom, like, who are you riding with? Who are you going with? Trying to get it organized, because I'm supposed to be there. It was actually for my birthday, to be honest with you. And I needed to get there earlier, but I'm trying to coordinate this with everybody else. And my mom just eventually, like in frustration, to be honest, was like, Erica, you can't save everybody. Just let it go. You can't save everybody. And I thought, what do you mean I can't save everybody? Like, how am I trying to save everybody? By just making sure that you're not riding out here by yourself, that you're riding with somebody, or they're following you, that everybody's got, who they're supposed to ride with and go with, and they know how to get there. But in that moment, I also heard what she said. And she said, very frustrated, in a very frustrated manner, Erica, you can't save everybody. And you know what that taught me? That taught me that my mom knew exactly who I was. And I say that because I always felt like I was given a hard time. I was always trying to look out for people, help them out, have people live their best, be there for them. And it seemed like I don't know, it just always seemed some mess or something. Or it felt like they were putting bad intentions on me. And so when she said, Erica, you can't save everybody, I realized that she knew exactly who I was. That what was once stated as, they used to say, oh, you try to change things, or you trying to take over stuff. Like I said, giving my efforts a negative connotation. And she said, you can't save everyone. So she understood my intentions. And all that other kind of negative connotation or perceived intent wasn't real. That you knew that my intentions were trying to help people, everybody. And something that seems so small and obvious to me, making sure that everyone had a ride there and would get there safely, was an annoyance to the rest of them. They just wanted to do things their way. And she wound up driving herself. Hold on, it said I was in violation or something. It said I'm being redirected to try to sell people stuff. I'm not trying to sell anything, so I'm not sure what that is. Anyhow, I'm not sure what happened. It was said I was warning in violation of something. But anyway, I realized that I had to start focusing on myself. That it was important to stop trying to rally and make sure that everybody else was okay and that they could take care of themselves. And that all I was doing was putting unnecessary stress on myself. And it wasn't appreciated. So I think that that's honestly something that a lot of the people that I coach experience, where they're givers and they constantly pour into others and worry about and make sure everybody else is okay and don't necessarily give to themselves properly. And then they feel underappreciated. And so what if we turned that super focus on everybody else? And it comes from a good place, right? You feel that you can and you're able. You care enough. You want to be there. You want people to be comfortable. You want people to be well. But often when you do that in that way, it's at the expense of yourself, your health, your well-being, your sanity. And while in my case, well, I should have been focused on, like I said, it was my birthday. I should have been focused on my getting to the party, getting everything set. I was over here worried about people that didn't want me to worry about them. Rushing, stressed out because of it, because of the story I was telling myself. And so I think that it's important that we give ourselves that same amount of care and attention and focus. And when we don't, I think we kind of need to look into why that is too. When we don't give ourselves the same kind of care, attention, focus, it's actually depriving yourself of the love and care that you need. I don't think that it's selfish to focus on yourself. What do y'all think? It's not selfish to focus on yourself. You don't have to be, and I think there's a difference, and we've got to call that out. There's a difference of focusing on self and being self-centered. I'm not promoting self-centeredness, but I am promoting self-focus. Until you are in a position to where you can properly take care, nurture yourself in a way that's sustainable, meaning that you're good, your health is good, your finances are good. You know what I mean? That you need to kind of refrain from the amount of time and attention that you give to everybody else. I'm going to tell y'all a story. And this is about one of my clients. There was a good friend of hers that was and if you're just coming on and you want to download this in the comments on live2elevate.com, there's a link there where you can download this picture for free. And if you don't like my colors, maybe you'll like yours better and you can go there with it or just watch. But there's a client of mine, and one of her good friends got into an accident, very, 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 very bad accident, to where he very well may have been, I want to get blue. He very well may have been paralyzed. So she rushes to the hospital, and while she's at the hospital, the family's there, right? And she's a close family friend. But she goes to the hospital and she's there all day. And she's supposed to meet her other friends later on. And she's there, she's taking care, she's being supportive, she's doing all the things that she should do. And so I happened to be at the place with a friend of hers, which is how she became a client. And when she got to us, it was maybe about 7:30 p.m. at the restaurant. And she's famished, she's starving, she feels terribly ill. And she's like, I don't feel good, I have to eat, I feel terrible. I was like, what happened? So she tells us what happened. Her friend had the terrible accident and she was there at the hospital since the morning and she didn't eat anything. And I just kind of looked at her and I said, do you believe in self-care? She said, yeah, I do. I said, okay. Do you practice it? She said quickly, yeah, I do all the time. I said, oh, okay. And I said, but you just said that you're starving because you didn't eat all day. And she says, yeah, well, my friend was ill. I was there in the hospital with him. And, he had a tragic accident and so he can't walk. And he's just like, I was just trying to help out. And I asked her, I said, that's very noble. And I'm not knocking that at all. And I think that's great for her to be there. And I would do the same thing. But I asked her, did he have family there? She said, yeah, no, everybody was there. We were all in the room. I said, okay. He had family there as well. And you decided to stay there and from the morning until 7 and not eat. And she said, yeah, I didn't want to leave him. I said, okay. And this is a friend. And I said, by you not eating, did that make his care go better? Did it help him start having feeling where he could maybe walk and move his limbs more? What did you sacrificing yourself all day and not eating do to help him heal? And she just looked at me, and she probably thought I was being rude, and I wasn't trying to be rude, but I wanted her to hear herself, because when she initially got with us, she was talking about, just how she was tired, she was hungry, how she's busy, she's doing this, she's doing that, and all those things. And I said, so you talk to me about self-care and you say that it's important to you. But everything you just told me since you sat down is quite the opposite. And she just looked at me and got quiet, kind of put her head down. And I said, no. This is not a shaming moment. This is a realization, right? Because my guess is, because you're a giver, because you're that kind of friend, this beautiful person, that you most likely do this kind of thing a lot. Sacrifice yourself and your needs to the detriment of your health, to the detriment of what's good for you. She said, yeah, I do. So she started telling me some other stories that kind of fit that narrative, right? So I just helped her to understand that, we all do this. All of us givers. We overgive. And while we think that that's showing love and care and being there and all of these things for everyone else, we're really going against what God would want for us. Because how are we going to continue to do his work if we don't treat ourselves well? I asked her, did you think that if you would have taken 30 minutes to go grab a bite to eat, that him or his family would have thought that you were a terrible friend? She said, no, not at all. They wouldn't have thought that. I said, exactly. But somehow you told yourself that because that's why you didn't go, isn't it? She said, yeah, I felt like I shouldn't leave. But you could have grabbed something to eat, came back in 30 minutes and even brought it back for everybody else and still been there and tackled everything. That's self-love. That's putting God first because you're putting yourself first. You think it pleases him for you to not take care of yourself? No, she said. So we just wonder, where does all this stuff come from? These narratives, these stories that we tell ourselves that this is the way it has to be. The way we grew up. Self-sacrificing is not a badge of honor anymore, my friends. Not at all. What do you think? Are y'all with me on that? I wish I could turn back the time on some things, but I think that it's better late than never to get those kind of lessons. So many women, and men too, that I coach are in a situation now, especially with the way everything's going, that they're really trying to understand what self-love means and take away that narrative that self-love is, that's too soft or it's self-centered or any of the bad things. It's not. It's just merely loving yourself. If we're here for love, don't you think you should be on that list? What sense does that make? To show everyone else love, attention, prioritization, but not you yourself. How do you think that pleases God? We got to get better at that. And now I'm going to go into allowing ourselves to be used for the sake of family, for the sake of friends. Some of us need to revamp our circles. And that's hard to do. I'm not going to say it's easy. You have people that you grew up with. You have people that you care about deeply and dearly. But as you grow and you evolve, you kind of start to see something. This person doesn't value me in the way that I need to be valued. This person doesn't value me in the way that I value them. And so what should you do? Spend more years subjecting yourself to that kind of treatment and interaction? Or do you pick yourself up, salvage what you can about the years you got left, and create something different, something more beautiful? I think we allow ourselves to be prisoners to our own stories, our own shoulds. I should do this. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't leave. I should be more patient. I should, try to work this out. I should be there for that person in this. It's all these shoulds. I want you to maybe take a minute to reassess some of those shoulds. And see if they still make sense to you. I don't know how often you all do mandalas. I think if you allowed yourself some time to do this at least once a week, I would say more than that, but start with once a week. Put on your favorite music and just color. All the shapes, all the sizes, all the curves, and give it a theme. It really helps you think. Getting somewhere with it. What do you think? So how do you start prioritizing yourself without feeling guilty? Step one. I'd say just do it. Just do it. But no. I would say step one is write a list of all the things that you need to feel good in the day. Do you need to take a walk? Do you need to drink a certain amount of water? Do you need to have a certain type of diet? What are the things that you need that make you feel happy and whole? Write a list. And once you make that list, I want you to write next to each one of those things on that list what it does to you. So, for example, when you go out for a walk, what does that make you feel like? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel relief? What do you feel when you go out for a walk? What do you like to see? What do you like to do? What do you like to think about? I want you to write that next to it. Do you like to go to the movies? Why is that? What feelings does it give you? And do that all the way down the list. And once you make that list of the favorite things that you like to do and how they make you feel, I want you to start deciding which ones you're going to prioritize I want you to start deciding which feelings that you want to feel more often. And then you're going to start incorporating that into your week, into your day. And as you do that, it's going to help you create a pattern for yourself that self-care and self-love are just a part of the day. It's a part of the way this thing works. It's priority just like everything else. Non-negotiables. So start there first. Start with your list. Write down the 5 to 10 things that you like to do. Could even be 3 to 5. We'll start with 3 to 5. How they make you feel. And then decide which feelings do you want to have more often. And those are the things that you're going to make sure that you do. If not daily, then definitely weekly. I want you to also write about what drains you. What type of experiences, what type of people, what type of interactions do not bring out the best in you? Do you feel too tired and overwhelmed when you deal with them? And guess what I want you to do? Write down how those make you feel. And then once you do that, you got it. I want you to I want you to decide which ones you want to make sure that you are involved and around less of. You see, because once you write it out, it becomes more of a contract between you and self, and you and the universe. And so now you've got to keep yourself to it because it's written out and it's there and you're conscious of it. And so when you're in the situation that's not so great, oh gosh, I'm on the phone with this person again, and all they keep doing is talking about this, that, and the third. Right? I don't want to keep hearing this. And so you politely exit, get off the phone, or you politely don't answer the next time that person calls, or you can even politely let them know, like, hey, can we start talking about other things? But the more that you surface the things in your life that bring you down, that take a lot of your energy, and how they make you feel, the easier it is to start crossing those out. And the more that you name, intentionally do the things that make you feel good, that bring joy to you. You like watching sunsets. Do you like sitting in silence? Do you like calling a friend? How does that make you feel? The more that you do that, you write it down and how it makes you feel, the easier it is to start prioritizing those things in your life, which is then prioritizing you and your well-being. So that would be my advice to start there. I think it's a small step, but it's a very important step. We've got to start practicing self-love, pouring back into self, understanding who we are, retelling that story we told ourselves of the way things should and shouldn't be. It doesn't fit anymore. It doesn't fit us, and it doesn't fit the world that we're in. So, we'll start there. I think it's coming along pretty. I know it's all the red in the middle, but that's love. And then the blue. Going all right. I think that's about mostly of what I wanted to say today. I thank you all for joining. It's about self-love. So take those 2 steps that I suggested. Write down what brings you joy. Write down why it brings you joy, the feeling you get when you're doing that or around it. And decide to do more of that. Prioritize that and make a commitment to do it daily or weekly. Let's start there. Prioritize what brings us joy. And on the opposite end of that, we're going to write our list about what we do not enjoy, we do not want to do, what that makes us feel like when we are around it or doing it. And we're going to deprioritize that consciously, intentionally, right? All right, try it out. Send me a note. Let me know how it goes for you. And I appreciate you joining. I'll see you next time.